Hi, and welcome to the Insecure Chef. I'm here at Regina as always on this frigid mid-January day. We've had sub-zero windshield factors out there. It's really been tough. All I want to do is sit in front of the fireplace and have a cup of coffee. And when I was having that cup of coffee, I thought, gee, wouldn't it be nice to have some coffee cake with it? So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a quick coffee cake, little strudel topping. Should be delicious. As always, the quantities and the recipe is on the site. So let's get started. And also, again, thank you so much for getting us past that 1,000 mark. We are heading forward and marching on to bigger numbers. So thank you very much, and let's get started. So we're going to start out with all-purpose flour. Again, as I mentioned, all the quantities are on the channel, so I won't bore you by repeating them. So we're going to add that. We're going to add some white sugar. Okay, it's about 3/4 of a cup, if I remember. Don't listen to me. Make sure you pay attention to what's written down, because my memory, I could be making up all kinds of numbers. So make sure you check there. All right, we're going to give that a little stir. Now to that, we're going to add 2½ teaspoons of baking powder. That's baking powder. All right, we're going to get 2½ teaspoons to that. I had a teaspoon around, but I think I lost it. So we'll get started here. 2½ going in. There's one. Give me a moment here. That's 2. And we'll go with 2½. That should be fine. Okay, 2½ of baking powder in. I'm just going to follow this up with 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt. I'm mentioning kosher salt, so use that. Don't just substitute directly with regular salt. It'll be different. So make sure you use kosher salt, or if you don't have that, you want to go with regular, check on the web and look for the conversion from kosher to table salt. So we're going to go with, what did I say now? I said 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt. 1, 2, and 3. 3/4 of a teaspoon of that. We'll give that a little stir. Okay. And that should be all the ingredients we need for the dry portion of the recipe. And we'll be moving over to the wet side right now. All right. And before we continue, I just wanted to remind you we're going to be doing this in a 9-inch cake pan. All right, this is 9-inch, and I've got it well greased with butter. Perhaps you can see that. So just grease it however you like it. I guess you could use spray or whatever you like, but make sure it is greased because it will stick otherwise. All right, so now we're going to move over to the wet side here. And in here, I already have the 1/4 cup of 3/4 of a cup of milk. And to that, I'm adding a 1/4 cup of oil. I'm using canola oil. It would be nice if I had a nice light olive oil with no flavor, but I didn't have it. But you can use canola oil, you can use vegetable oil, you can use all kinds of light oils, okay? So keep that in mind. So that's going in now. All right, there we go. And to that, I'm going to add 1 large egg. 1 large egg. And we're just going to give this a bit of a stir and beat up here. Now we get that going very well. There we are. All right, now we're going to add our flavorings to that. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, so this will have a nice vanilla taste to it. All right, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I had another teaspoon here. There we are. Here we got 1. And here we have 2. That's the 2 of the vanilla extract. And we're going to follow that up with just a half a teaspoon of almond extract. Half a teaspoon of almond extract. So there's a nice background flavor to it. If you don't like almond or you're allergic to nuts, just leave it out. You can add a little more vanilla, or you could just leave it out completely. Okay. And we'll give that a nice stir. That smells good. All right. Let's move the powder back in the picture. The dries are there. And now we're simply going to be adding the wet to the dry. All right. Going in now, wet into the dry. All right. So now we'll give this a nice mix, and it'll develop into a nice creamy batter. I don't know where you folks are located, but it really has started out the winter very nicely here. What's today's date, babe?
22nd?
Today's the 22nd already. Wow. So we're already into the third week of January. And we have seen some very frigid temperatures. And we already have a nice dosing of snow already. And in all seriousness, up here in the Northeast, it's really only the beginning of the winter. February and March can be very tough. So, okay. It's coming together nicely. We'll just mix this until it gets a little creamier. Make sure there aren't any big lumps of anything. It doesn't take long, just a few minutes. All right, what do you think, babe?
Oh, it looks good. Nice and creamy.
You think that's good enough?
Yeah.
No, you used to bake a lot.
Not a lot, but some.
Yeah, no, it's creamed up very nicely. You see, there's virtually now almost no kinds of lumps in there. I'll just give another 10 seconds. And I think that's good. Okay. All right, we're going to pour that now into our greased baking dish. Sorry if I'm in your way there, huh?
No, I can see. Sorry.
Let's try to get it all out of there. Yeah, it's nice and creamy now. No lumps whatsoever. I love coffee cake.
I do too.
Yeah. And just remind somebody, first of all, let me thank Marie's Kitchen for this idea. And this reminds somebody that that this doesn't contain coffee. Some people get that confused a little bit. I guess it was really originally considered I don't know, a tea cake maybe? Or
Yeah. Well, it goes well with coffee.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, I guess
they
the
call it
original
that.
name might have been tea cake, and then
Yeah.
since most people were drinking it with their favorite beverage, but tea was a big beverage too, so okay. That's looking pretty good. It doesn't look like it really needs much help from me. I'll give it a little tap, try to get any air bubbles out of there. I don't think it's need anything to mess around with, right?
No, it looks perfect.
Okay, so that's good. Okay, we'll move over now to the streusel topping. Okay, very simple. It's just brown sugar, flour, a little cinnamon, and some nice ice cold butter. So we're going to put that into this mini mixer here. So I'm putting in the first. We'll go in with the brown sugar. Okay. Then we'll go in with the flour. And now a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I want to double check, make sure I'm wrong. Yeah, okay. All right, half a teaspoon of cinnamon in. And then we'll follow it up with the 3 tablespoons of butter, which I've cut into 3 pieces, just to make it a little bit easier here on this blender. All right. Now we'll put this baby back on here. Oops. Always tricky. Okay, and now we're going to just blend it so that it gets granular. You don't want to turn it into a fine powder. You know what the top of coffee cake looks like. So when you get it to that consistency, if it looks good to you, it'll be fine. So let's give it a shot. What do you think, babe?
I can't tell. Right?
Well, I'll take a look. I think that's just ducky.
Okay.
As long as that butter got all mixed in.
Yeah, that was quick. No?
Well, it's high speed.
I know.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give it a little flash just to make sure. What do I keep doing that wrong, babe? I'm not the brightest bulb in the box. I'm just going to give it a little flash. Yeah, I think
You think it's done?
I think
Okay.
that's done. I don't see any big pieces of butter, do you?
No.
All right. All right. I got to turn the lock off. There we go. All righty. Now just take this out of the way.
Yeah, that looks crumbly.
Yep, as it should be.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take this off now, and all I'm going to do now is basically pour it and try to make it as even as I can across the top here. And there'll be plenty of it, which, of course, as we all know and hate to admit,
That's the best
the
part.
best part is the top. What do you think, babe?
Yeah, that looks good.
Look like crumb cake.
It does. It's starting to look like crumb cake.
Get those edges.
Yeah.
You won't cheat anybody. Yeah, the butter's
Yeah.
nicely dispersed. Okay. I think that's looking pretty good.
Yep.
Okay, now I've already preheated the oven to 375 degrees. I'm going to be putting it in the oven. We're going to set it for about 25 minutes. My oven can go crazy sometimes. Sometimes it seems like it runs cold. Other times it seems like it runs hot. I don't know. So you'll do the usual cake test. You can use a toothpick. You can put a thermometer in there. Something that you can tell. Make sure it doesn't come out wet, as always. I found that with anything, with pies, cakes, donuts, whatever, at least 190 degrees Fahrenheit seems to be the absolute minimum. It shouldn't, anything less than that, it's almost never cooked. But I didn't say you take it out at 190. I'm saying at least 190, and then really make sure it's dry when it comes out. So I'm going to move this now into the oven, like so. And I'm going to set the timer, as I said, for 25 minutes, but I will be keeping my eye on it. All right, there we go, 25 minutes. So we'll be back and we'll see how it looks when it comes out. All right, it's been in there now for about 28 minutes, and it's looking pretty good to me. So we're going to take this thing out now, and we're going to let it sit about 10-15 minutes. You can get a good look at that, babe. We're going to let that sit about 10-15 minutes, and then we'll come back and see how it tastes. Okay, I've now cut this delicious smelling cake into 6. You can cut it into 8 or cut it any way you like it. I let it cool about 10-15 minutes, cut it in 6, and I'm just going to pull this slice out here. That looks very nice.
Oh, yeah.
That looks very, very good. And you can take a look here and see how it looks inside. All right. And we're going to give it a taste. All right. I was dying for this all day.
See?
Here we go. Excellent. A nice recipe. Nice and crunchy top without being too hard. Plenty of vanilla and cinnamon flavor. And I think we got a winner here.
Oh, good.
There we go.
That's beautiful.
Anyway, that's it for now on our cold day. So again, from the Insecure Chef and his wonderful wife, Regina.
Enjoy the evening.
And thank you very much for joining us. And once again, thank you for getting us past that 1,000 mark. Please invite your friends and family. Come back and see what we're doing. If you got anything you'd like me to try, drop me a note. Not guaranteed I can do it, but I'll probably take a look at it. So have a good one. Enjoy the weather wherever you are. God bless.